Don't watch me, watch Nolazine TV. It's the best video ever and subscribe to it.
All right, this is Cameron Knowles. I'm on Nolazine TV, and I'm the owner of the Street Cam Photography.
Okay. Tell everybody where you're from.
Originally I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. I went to high school in Atlanta, and I moved down here for college over at Xavier University.
Okay, let's bring it back to the college. Because I remember young Cameron Knowles in college, and also actually, starting, with your company.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know, how can someone go to school to actually become one, doctor, and still have the time to actually be in the club every night?
Yeah, that's a great question. My professors had the same question. Actually, I was at Xavier on a tennis scholarship. So I had a full ride for...
tennis?
Yeah, I was on a tennis scholarship.
Did you even tell anybody this?
I hustle on the low. I do everything, and I just move how I move. But I learned a lot of my discipline and stuff like that from grinding with tennis. You know what I'm saying? Being an individual on the court and battling in those 3-hour matches in the heat and stuff like that.
So you was also playing on tennis too. So
Yeah.
Where did you have time to edit all the photos?
Bro, I didn't sleep. I don't sleep now, but I didn't sleep. A lot of times, we would have 6 a.m. workouts, you know what I'm saying, to go work out in the gym, work out an hour, then I go to class all day. Then you go eat, then you go practice for 3 hours. Then I would sleep maybe 5 hours right then until midnight. And then I would study all night long until workouts. And so, after I got that routine during the week, on the weekends, I would go to the club, shoot the pictures. I had a team with me, so you can't do these type of things without a team. I had built a team. But initially it was just me running out in the streets. I had slides in my back pocket. I'd be studying while I'm taking pictures and, out, networking.
I still have a picture of you sleep in the club. But you say you wasn't asleep.
It was like that. It was like that, bro. It was the grind. I love the grind. So it was nothing, man. It was fun.
Okay. So how did you actually, come up, with the name of that, of that company at that time?
That's a great question. Originally, I think in 2009, I started doing some street photography, and I called it Catalytic Images. And so I would go out in the street, I would be on Bourbon, Canal, and be drunk people, and I'd be like, oh yeah, go find this on Facebook, it's Catalytic Images. They'd be like, what? Catalytic? God. They would they just start laughing at me and stuff, so I'd be like, man, I gotta come up with something different. And I was doing street photography. It just made sense. I was doing stuff outside the club, right on the street. So I would take people out of the line and be like, hey, y'all, long story short, I would just take their pictures and put it on Facebook, but I was on the street. So I named it Street Cam. It just happens that my name is Cam. So it works out, kind of like a double entendre. But really it's, the Street Cam. We started in the streets. We started doing event photography. And from there we built to, different facets.
Okay, so I have one good question for you. So has there ever been a point in your time, when you was in college, when you just wanted to, give up on your, before it's street cam?
Oh, well, man, the business side, once I got into that, I think I was my P2 year, so it was my second year of pharmacy school. Is when I started the business, and I had professors that literally were like, you should quit tennis, which was paying for my education, so that didn't make any sense. But the business was in me. If anything, I was wanting to quit school. The whole time I wanted to quit pharmacy while I was doing it, but I was like, man, this is the greatest backup plan in the world. So I can't quit plan C. I know I got these other things going on, but this is important. And I passed with, C's and everything. I didn't have to retake anything, but I went straight through, was not, trying to hold up my GPA and say, what's up, show everybody that. But, once you're in doctorate school, C's get degrees and you get a job. Once you have people that in the field.
Man, just me being on, it was just me being on the, and before the outside looking in, right. You had to been on a lot of damn Adderall.
I try all types of methods to just keep me going, but a lot of it's ambition, man. I just love this shit. So
you love it?
Yeah. Especially the photography, giving back. Even once you get to the once you get out of school with pharmacy, you really are giving back to the community and trying to help them manage, you know, whether it's addiction, whether it's, you know, just their actual health. You know, you're in a position for that. So you got to have some kind of drive to just give back, to be, you know, fulfilled by that kind of job. So I really did like it, but, you know, I just didn't like the top down pressure from pharmacy and pharmacy heads. They always want you to push something, and I want people to kind of get off the drugs. So, you know, things that they don't need.
Because that was my question. I'm like, if I remember, but you graduated, but you were still, I'm like pushing, you know, I'm like photography, and I was like, damn, do we still got time to like be a pharmacist?
Yeah.
For pharmacy and like a photographer?
Yeah. That's a great question, because like when I actually graduated, and a lot of people thought that, like I remember Dell from Super Dads, we used to do a lot of weddings and stuff. He was like, man, I'm surprised you still doing this shit. I'm like, well, I always did part-time pharmacy. I only did full-time for 6 months so I could get a house, because they won't let you get a house, you know, if you're doing it with a loan, if you're not working in your field that you graduated from. So I did it 6 months to actually get a house. But outside of that, I worked for independent pharmacies, and I worked part-time, you know, between 1 to 3 days a week. And outside of that, I had to, and even that drained me a lot, but, you know, I had to keep that hustle going. The people kept calling me for pictures, so I had to keep serving. That's it.
That's what you said?
I mean, I at one point, I stopped promoting it. Like, I stopped promoting it, but we still here. You know what I'm saying? I still, you know.
But you didn't have to promote it, you know.
I mean, yeah, it's viral at some point, but at the same time, like, you know, shit like that dies. There's a lot of photographers that have come and gone in, 10 years? Come on, man, we started in 2010. Like, who's here still? It's 20, and there's a lot of...
You graduated school and all.
Yeah, we started it, and a lot of people came up and have taken it further, and I love that. I think of the world in its abundance. You know what I'm saying? If somebody that I brought up in the game, or somebody that I've watched from afar is coming up and it increases the demand, it's a beautiful thing for all photographers and for all people that are working in the field, because, you know, it's just I don't know. I just feel that way. I won't get too deep into it. It's your interview. Let's get it.
So how long have you just had I'm like entrepreneur, I'm like mindset?
Ooh, man. I read a book when I was 19. Kind of a weird situation on how I ended up, you know, getting this book in my hands, but it was called Million by 30. And, you know, I read that, and it was about a guy who used to rent out or buy houses, like say it was a 4-bedroom house, and he would live in like the laundry room and rent out the whole house. And so that was like, you know, I read that book, and it instilled just a mindset of, you know, living below my means and ownership. And so I just took that into everything. And you know, I've always kind of been a scientist at heart. So I always ask questions and try to, you know, grow. And with that mindset within business, I just feel like it's just fun to me. It's like putting together puzzles. It's real fun. Like, I love business.
Okay. So let's jump on like a little other like businesses that you do.
Okay.
Like for like Tradepreneurs.
Yeah. No. So
different things.
Yeah. So I'll go straight into Tradepreneurs. That's something that I partnered with Larry Morrow with, and we started that up in June of this year. And you know, what we're mainly doing with that is trying to bring another mindset to the community, an investor mindset to the community. A lot of us know about the worst way to build wealth, which is trading our time for money, especially in vehicles that do not, you know, fulfill our passions. You know what I'm saying? We just basically trade our time for money, and we hate it. So if you're doing that, it's really the worst way to make money. A lot of these millionaires and just people with money, the elite, they use leverage. And so they use other people to make their money, and they use money to make money. And so we're trying to just make other people understand, you know, that's the wave. Like, that's when we're moving towards. It's not about being out in the streets and you know, having to move for your bucks can move for you, and that's it. So that's
everybody go.
Yeah, I mean, but not every.
But you're supposed to make I'm like your money actually like work for you, right?
Absolutely. But just not everybody knows that. People really be out here just, flashing off their brands and stuff like that, but don't have nothing in the, and I don't even want to say the bank, because we're not even working with the bank anymore. We're talking about cryptocurrencies and ownership, other things that appreciate in value, things that are putting money in your pocket, not that are just going out, assets over liabilities all day.
Okay. So what's like unique about your business?
Which business? Because I really have I want to say I have multiple businesses, but 3 that are really, things that are, I guess.
So what's, okay, I got one.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't even come up with
No, take it down. I'm with you. I like this.
I'm like, which business, do you actually, focus on? Well, okay. I'm trying to think about it. Because you have so many businesses.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you all entrepreneur questions.
Yeah, run it, man.
Okay.
I'm open. Let's get it.
Okay. So what's your background on education and I'm also before as I can't even get it.
Yeah.
So what is your background far as being an entrepreneur?
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's yeah.
But do you have any family members or anything like that?
Yeah, my dad has started some businesses, but I won't say that he actually talked to me or taught me anything about it. I had a friend of mine, Mark Raymond, his father, I'm good friends with him. And I was running with him in a bar one time, and he was like, oh yeah, just thinking my dad gave me all the sauce. And that's not necessarily true. My dad instilled some traits within me, like honor and loyalty and things like that. But he never really talked to me about his businesses or anything like that. So like I said, I read that book when I was 19. The reason why I had ended up getting community service when I was 19, because we got, profiled or whatever and got hemmed up for a little bit of, some trees. And it's crazy, putting that.
You had to go through community service for that?
Yeah, we pleaded NOLO. Me and my best friend, we got locked up in Roswell, Georgia. My dad actually bailed us out, and but we pleaded NOLO, and they gave you 24 hours community service. You get to pick where you was going to do it. So cleaning up, doing all those things, I had to stack books. And so with stacking books, I actually just was hiding in the corner, just reading to make the time go by. But I found the self-help section where they was talking about, entrepreneurship, ownership of stocks. And, I really started investing in stocks in 2009, when, the bubble happened and everything, the housing bubble. So that's kind of my background with just ownership. As far as, entrepreneurship, I think, I've been doing all type of stuff from, running my own, I was teaching tennis lessons to doing tutoring, and for all that stuff, you need marketing. You have to market yourself. So it's always a business when you're kind of having a service that you're providing to the community. So I was doing that in college. And then, like I said, the photography was my crash course. I went from, doing it for free to $75 for 4 hours, then to $75 plus $25 an hour, to, what our prices are now today, and growing. So, just bumps and bruises. Entrepreneurship, you don't need a license. You don't need, any validation. You just got to do it. You just got to get up and really do it. And so, starting with, I guess the photography being my real first business, I had a pharmacy discount card business that was national. So I had, almost 800 reps in that business, and you learn a lot, because with the photography, I was managing a team of up to 12. For most of the time, it was between 4 and 12 people that I was working with. But then I was building a business with the pharmacy discount cards, where I have pharmacists, doctors, I have, marketers, all these different types of people. Like I said, 700-800 people that I'm dealing with. You need different skills. And so that's your crash course right there, in big business and entrepreneurship. And so, like I said, and being involved with those types of things, and then also pharmacy, seeing how that business works, working with Larry and Tradepreneurs, I like bringing all those fundamentals to, or all the things that I've learned to that business. And, and like I said, my interest in ownership has carried on into where now I'm doing trading and, like I said, cryptocurrency and all that kind of stuff. So I've been on that for a while as well. And just marrying the two, business and cryptocurrency, or business and trading, it's just so much, it's just fun for me, you know what I'm saying? So I like giving back and just giving that knowledge to other people. Boom. Okay.
So tell the people, what's one average day like for you?
An average man. All right. An average day for me, I don't even know, man. My days are kind of crazy. I don't really have a schedule. I have 2 dogs, so they usually wake me up like 6, 7 o'clock, wanting to go outside, get something to eat, something like that. But normally I just wake up and I look at charts. So I look at cryptocurrency news, cryptocurrency charts, respond to some emails, things like that. But I don't really have a set schedule. Whenever the dogs wake me up, it's kind of when I get going, but they usually go early.
So what time do the dogs normally wake up?
Like I said, 6, 7 a.m. But it's funny because I'm a night owl, so sometimes I'll stay up till like 4 a.m. and then they'll still wake me up. So I really sometimes don't sleep.
Yeah. Hey, I haven't been asleep today. Well, since last night either.
That's how it goes.
And when you focus on things,
it's fun. It's not even no problem. Like I said, I wake up trading, I go to sleep like trading or just looking at the markets. But
I'm about to say you trade at night. I'm about to say you can trade at night.
Yeah, well, with cryptocurrency, it's 24/7.
Okay.
Yeah, you can trade at any time, and so that's my specialty. And so I really, you're always kind of paying attention to it. In the middle of the day, I handle whatever calls come in for, street cam. I deal with my assistant that way. And for, like Tradepreneurs, I help people. I teach a lot of people the skill of trading. So they, reach out to me for questions. So I do a lot of just answering questions. And then every few days I have a photo shoot. It's been kind of busy recently, but photo shoots, events, we have a photo booth. So I deal with that sometimes. We're relaunching the pharmacy discount card company right now. So, I had a meeting about that this morning. I have a meeting about that tonight. So it's just, my schedule is like a chameleon, man. It's kind of crazy, and I just go with the flow. I have a focus board when I go into my office. I just look at that and kind of make sure that these areas of my life are taken care of, and as long as those are checked off, I make my list based on those focus points, and I just go through that, man. It's wild. It can be overwhelming sometimes, but I try to stay active so I can be up to the task.
Okay, so growing up, who was your business role model?
No one, man. Up until 19, when I was 19, I'll say Warren Buffett. I really looked up to Warren Buffett. That's what I learned about in the books. Like I read the Million by 30, but I also read a lot of Warren Buffett books, and he was from Omaha, Nebraska. Like I said, that's where I was from, or that's where I am from.
So you're the illest person from Nebraska.
Yeah, it was nigga from Nebraska. Yeah, that's from Belly. Hey, go check that Belly, that Hype Williams joint. That's one of my favorite movies. Visually, it's beautiful. So Belly is fire. But yeah, they up in Nebraska. That's where I'm from, and I spent a little time in Houston in the middle, but most of my family is from Omaha, Nebraska, and then like I said, moved out to Atlanta, and now I'm here, man. Been here since 2 weeks before Katrina. So. 2005, and then came back in 2006. So this is the longest I've ever lived somewhere.
So you damn near from New Orleans, man.
As long as I've ever lived somewhere. So I love the city, man. I love it. I love my people.
Okay. So on the average, weekly basis, how many hours? For an average of a day, how many hours actually do you spend on just working?
Man, I don't count it because it's like.
Do you ever have free time?
You gotta make it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's. I could wake up working, go to sleep working, and nothing. And not everything is done. It's always something to do when you run. A few businesses. I'm sure you're familiar with that. So Yeah, you just gotta schedule sometimes to just turn up, have fun, or just have fun with what you're doing. Like I really love everything that I do. So like I'll be having a photo shoot and it's a party to me. Like I'm lit. Like if we're going to the photo booth event.
You gonna create the vibe, huh?
Yeah, always, wherever you at and whoever you with. That's all it's about. Facts.
So do you ever plan on like retiring one day?
I mean, I honestly, I feel like I'm retired now. Like I went to school for pharmacy. You know, I haven't stepped foot in a pharmacy since August 2019, based off my own decision. So
you're retired now?
Yeah, I'm retired out of my career, but the photography is till I die. You know, I'll do that until the hands won't let me do it.
I had a conversation with an entrepreneur about that. Like, I can't ever see me actually retiring because like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett are retired.
Nah, this shit,
and these dudes up.
Yeah.
And they got a guy just can't pass them up, so they probably made them like, shit, I ain't never retired.
Yeah, you might as well. I mean, if you ain't progressing,
if you love what you do.
Yeah, you got to progress and keep working on your craft, man. Because I mean, you're dead if you're not doing anything. If you just want to be on an island for the rest of your life, you might as well be gone, man. You got to serve the world. You got to be, you just got to be here to be here, experience this stuff.
Leave your impact.
Yeah, impact. Absolutely, man. Impact over income, impact over everything.
Impact over income. I like that one.
Yes,
okay. Sir. So far as on like street cam, have you ever turned down one client? And I'm also like if you have, I'm like please I'm like telling people why.
Yeah. Man, that's a crazy question because like I've gone through some transitions as far as how I deal with clients throughout the time. It was a time where I wouldn't do a job unless they paid me. And so as long as they paid me whatever I was asking, I would show up. And that actually limits you as a photographer. If you don't have the means to just shoot for free or just shoot fun stuff or shoot stuff from your creativity,
you gotta stay relevant.
You really can't advance. You know what I'm saying? You just, because only lesser things kind of will buy into you and invest in you if you just letting the bar be low as far as just being paid. So anyway, like long story short, most of the time I would deny people because of money, but nowadays I'm more so I don't know, just imaginary with it. Like I love working with people, I love being flexible, I like making my money in other ways so that photography is not necessarily my main hustle and I ain't gotta squeeze every dollar I can get out of it. But of course, you want to know your worth and, get your respect and keep operating. If you have a nice studio, or if you have a nice equipment, you should be compensated. People should recognize that. And your friends or anybody that's working with you should recognize that. Notice that, the photographer has put a lot of money into his equipment, just like, you put a lot of energy into your looks and your ideas. So I feel like, it should be a natural desire to compensate somebody that you want to work with. But like I said, as a photographer, don't ever let that limit you. Work with who you want to work with. Make it happen, because I've done things for free that have led to crazy opportunity and just amazing things. Like I had one time I did a whole video for a promotional thing. It was like this invite only thing and it just was a sexy look. And I'm like, bang, got no budget, but man, I want to do it. And like I did that job and like 2 years later, that job got me hired for Essence. Like what? Like that's so random. But I made bands off of that one time, in that network and that relationship that I had built to where that person called, like, hey, they made some connection. They was like, I got a guy for you. Boom. And
because you remember that.
Yeah. And if you do good work, you can't get free shit work, get shitty. You know what I'm saying? But if you're real creative and you got,
you love what you do.
Yeah, that's where it comes from, though. You really can't.
You gotta do what you love.
Yeah. Because it don't feel like work.
I tell every entrepreneur, like, basically, you have to do what you love. Like you gotta do something you don't mind doing actually for free. Yeah. But you could actually get paid for it.
Yeah, because otherwise you really working backwards. Like if you working in something that just drains your energy and you hate, bro, like you live in a slavery life. Like it's slavery. Think about it.
Right. Hey, but it kind of like the next question I'm about to ask you. So what's your advice to one person that's trying to follow on your footsteps?
I guess figure out your why. Like, what are you doing it all for? You know, have a vision. You know, if you can have a clear vision, you already achieved it. All you have to do is put energy towards it. All the pathways will reveal itself if you have that vision really clear in your head. So with everything that, you know, I've done, whether it's a photo booth, whether it's, you know, putting a company together that's 500 people, I had to imagine it first. And I had to imagine success with it first. And once I imagined it and had a clear picture of what it looked like to win with having that, yeah, man, you know, it's already done, and so it happens.
Okay. So tell the people, like what, like motivates you.
Oh man, that's I don't know. It's crazy. Like I'm like part Jamaican. I don't know. They say Jamaicans like to work like crazy.
We find out everything about
I'm a Capricorn too. They say they like to work like crazy. My mom always put me in like 3 sports and honors classes, so I'm always used to doing like, you know, basically running with my head cut off. So I'm used to just, you know, working. Like pharmacy is fast paced. So I'm just used to doing a lot, and I'm used to hustling, and I just see the value. I see the bigger picture. When I read those books when I was 19, it really, you know, had my eyes set on generational wealth, and kind of saw, you know, I just see the value in you know, investing in myself and versus, you know, just being a part of whatever society trying to give me, you know what I'm saying? So just building up my knowledge, and I really love learning and puzzles, and that's what I like to do. So I enjoy it, and I stick to it, stay in my lane.
So tell the people, like, how do you like define like success?
I define success as working towards your vision. Like every day that you are working towards your vision, you're successful. If you're 1% better towards that vision, that's a huge success, man. Like whether it's in knowledge, whether it's, you know, whatever you have in vision, because I don't want to pin it down to anything, because everybody has a different, you know, thing popping in their brain. It's all based off of your experiences in life and where you are in life. And, you know, you can look on social media, you can look at other people, but you can't use that as a barometer. You really got to see what you've been through and have your vision. And if you're working towards it, bro, you're a winner, man. Period.
Also, what's like next for you? Like, do you plan on like starting like more businesses?
Yeah. That's a great question. So right now I'm heavy into teaching and investing in cryptocurrency. So I completely trade, invest, and help people out. And you know, photography is, you know, when that comes, me and my team will handle those things. But moving into 2021, I believe after the summer, I'm going to start getting into real estate development. I want to be able to buy land and build properties on land, whether it's multifamily homes or some type of commercial units. But it's always been my vision to have multifamily homes. I want to say like even like something from a quad to a double-digit unit building.
Okay. And I'm also, but last but not least, but tell everybody, I'm like, what can they find you on like social media, a website, everything?
Okay, I got a Dr. Street Cam on Instagram. That's Dr. Street Cam, spelled just like that. You know, you can find us on the website, thestreetcam.net. Find me on Facebook. I think it's Street Cam CEO, or just Cameron Knowles, Cameron, Knowles like Beyonce.
That's what you tell people.
Yeah, man. But I mean, it is what it is. Not related, but yeah, that's pretty.
You was in Houston for a while.
I was in Houston for a while. Who knows?
If you just don't want to be related to Beyonce.
I mean, shit, second cousin could be. I tell people second cousin, honestly, but you know, and then I just fuck with them. But there's no tie, there's no bond there, other than like I like her music. Her music's fire. So yeah.
And we done.
Yeah, I think so. Man, thank you.
Nolazine, make them scream. Nolazine. Make them SCREAM. Scream. Nolazine, make them scream. You heard me.